Senhoras e senhores, sejam muito bem-vindos ao round de semifinais da Taça do Mundo de Boccia Povoa do Varzim 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the round of semi-finals of Povoa do Varzim World Boccia Cup 2024. Recebam calorosamente os atletas, juízes e árbitros. Please welcome the athletes and the officials. Playing for the knockout semi-final BC2 female on court 1 and 2. Court number 1, the match between Sona Gaeva from Azerbaijan versus Eliska Jankekova from Slovakia. The official Simon Reis and the liner Marta Santos. On court number 2, playing the match between Claire Taggart from Great Britain versus Cristina Gonçalves de Portugal. The official Martina Stefkova and the liner Nikos Mavropoulos. Playing for the knockout semi-final BC1 female on court 6 and 8. On court number 6, the match between Satanam from City from Thailand and versus Andressa de Oliveira from Brazil. The official Cristina Costa, the liner Jose Javier Garcia. On court number 8, the other semi-final of BC1 female, the match between Yushai de Silva Andrade from Bermuda versus Dora Basic from Croatia. The official Teresa Calderol and the liner Sara Henriques. Good luck to you all. Star Woman. Start matches.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are again to make the comments of this semi-final BC2 female with two excellent athletes. Claire Taggart, current number one of the world ranking and winner of all the competitions she has participated on the last few years. And also Cristina Gonçalves from Portugal that is making a very good tournament. So here with me I have for the comments Joep Pelser, which is the World Boccia coordinator for the competition and rules committee, and will help me with the comments and answering some questions and some other information and news of World Boccia. Thank you, Joep, for being here, and I ask you to start your comments, first of all, to these two players and the expectations for this semi-final.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being here. And so I think it's a very nice game that we're looking at. Obviously, Claire, the current world champion, and has won a lot of competitions lately. And Cristina, who's been around, I think, as long as we all can remember, with some really good moments, sometimes a few events with a not so great result, but this competition she seems on fire, and so I think we're going to see a great match.
Great, good. So about the current situation in the match. So Cristina played the first ball to open the situation, and now yeah, excellent shot.
Yeah, it's a very typical start of a good boccia match. And, Claire blocking the jack, Cristina opening it up immediately and blocking it back. So yeah, these are typical shots where the players don't need to think a lot, just straightforward shots. But to execute them this accurate is obviously really difficult. And again, perfect ball from Claire.
Yeah.
Leaving an open jack for her. And then it's waiting for the first athlete to make a mistake or get a little bit more complicated situation where the thinking starts.
Yeah. And Joep, what about your job? I mean, your responsibilities in the World Boccia Committee for competition and rules. Can you give us, from time to time during this conversation, some update?
Yes, it's a really interesting year. Obviously, we have the Paralympic Games, and we just finalized the whole qualification process. So we had, for the first time, a direct qualification tournament for teams and pairs, which was held here in Portugal a few months ago. And then we had the individual bipartite application process, which was really interesting. I think gave a good list of athletes for the Paralympic Games. And we're also working on reviewing the rules and the competition structure for the period after Paris. So the committee is quite busy this year. We can speak a bit more about that during the match. Great ball again from Cristina.
Well, great ball, but is vulnerable, so Claire can attack it and put his ball, the ball that she's going to throw, put that blue a little bit away to the left and defend the jack with that ball.
Yes, she could. I think she has basically two options. She could go in between the red and the blue, try to block the jack, or try to get rid of the blue. But I think she has enough space to go in directly.
Yeah.
That would save her a ball and make it a really complicated situation.
But she was lucky.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. If there are a few balls around, sometimes they can help you.
She was lucky, but it went well. But not scoring yet.
No, now I think it's a simple push to that red one.
Yeah.
She could knock off the blue, but then the jack probably moves, so I think that's not a great solution. She hit it, but a little bit too hard, I think. Creating some space again for whoever gets to play next.
It's very easy for us to comment, comparing with what they have to do, and sometimes we're talking about some millimeters or less than 1 centimeter that can make a difference.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to tell what to do than to actually do it, and yes, especially since athletes in competition are always on a floor that they're not used to, and that has a lot of impact on how fast the balls roll. You don't know exactly always know the balls of your opponent. Nice shot. The weather conditions can make the floor a bit more sticky or not, so it's definitely not so easy as it looks sometimes.
Yeah. You're talking about wooden absorbs humidity, and although there's some covering, but still possible, and make the
and
floor
the
more sticky.
balls themselves also get a bit more sticky if the temperature is higher and the humidity is higher. Defensive shot from Claire. And now Cristina with 2 balls left. And she has
She might
some
try
space.
to push a little bit further to try to score.
Yeah, I think 2 options again. Either push the red and thereby the blue and the jack so that the other blue will score. And she could also place it against the blue one in the back of the jack.
Yeah.
And use that as a stopper to get a second point.
When you put more speed, more strength, the accuracy is not so good. Oh, no,
she tried the second option, but also didn't work.
We could see that she was not convicted about what she was going to do.
She played a little bit fast. She had time. It's a bit of a wasted opportunity to get a second point here. But anyway, it's always nice to win the first end, especially if your opponent started it.
Yeah. And what about the rules? Do we expect to have any important change? Of course, there are always some changes, adaptations, modifications, but something that is really different from what it is now?
Speaking with World Boccia Board and also after a questionnaire that we sent to the membership, our objective is to not change fundamental things to the sport because we already had a lot of change over the last few years with an increase in competitions, some rules that have changed, and we feel that it's good to provide stability and try to make things better without changing them too much. So we are working on some clarifications in the rules, some things where the wording at this moment is a bit confusing, where we see that sometimes people have different interpretation of what was the objective of the rule. So those are all relatively smaller things. And there are some things with the committee that we are reviewing, such as the time per end. We see that at this moment, some classes are really tight on time. They really need to speed up constantly to manage to play all their balls within the time, and in other classes you have time to go 3-4 times in an end to see the situation on court, to have long discussions in teams or pairs. So yeah, we're analyzing that to see if we can align that a little bit more so that everybody feels that they have a similar amount of time pressure rather than some classes having a lot and others not. And another thing we're looking into is tie breaks. And the question there is, do we still want to have a tie break in pools play? Because we see that in many sports, like overtime or tie breaks are only used in knockout stages. So that's a question that we're still looking into, if there's another way to do that in the pool stage where a draw could be a possible outcome of the match. So I think that those are two changes that could possibly happen.
Or incorporate the tie as a possible score.
Yeah. So that would be the idea, that you can either win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, we just or in the end of the European Football Championships, kind of that system in pool stage, you can have a draw, and when you go to the knockout stage, then obviously there needs to be a winner.
Of course.
So a tiebreak.
Yeah, we have a set of criteria to set us. It's one more.
Yeah.
There will be no problem.
And then of course there's the question on how should the draw count. You need to get a certain amount of points for a win or a draw. So that's some things to be working out. But that's a thing we're looking into, because we feel that as close as Boccia is getting, we see more and more games that go to tiebreak or that are won or lost by a very small score, and then it sometimes feels a bit drastic that if you have a very equal game finishing in 2-2, there needs to be a winner, and that side gets everything and the other one gets nothing. Rather than that, a draw is a really good result for both sides.
Sometimes the draw is exactly the reflex of what the match has, what happened in the match. So why not? And sometimes it's unfair that one of the the competitors lose that match. So I agree. In one of the games yesterday, I talked about that. That was one possible change for the future, and I'm glad that you are thinking about that. Meanwhile, we are seeing the second end with a tremendous first ball of Cristina.
Yeah.
That make Claire spend 5 out of the 6 balls. One attacking, she attacked with only 1 ball, and she saw that she couldn't lose more balls for the building a defense, and that's what she's doing, right?
Yeah, I think it's a wise decision. Like, this is a very difficult situation to win the end, and it's typically the situation where you can lose a whole match if you're not proceeding with some caution. And she makes quite a nice defense here.
Yeah.
So she'll be looking to keep the score at 1, maybe 2, so that she still has all the options with 2 ends to go to get back in the game. Sometimes we see players here being a bit too optimistic, attacking, losing 3-4 points, and then you're in a really tough spot to continue. So well done.
We can see this ball that is far away from the jack, that many people can think it was a missed ball, but I guess it is not. Can we explain?
Yeah. I think from our perspective, she would have wanted it a little bit more to the left. Basically, it serves 2 purposes. First, it's you block a lot of lines to get near the jack, and when the ball is a bit further from the situation, like the shadow of the ball where you cannot get past is bigger, so you block more lines. And then if there are a lot of balls close to the jack, it's easier to hit that group of balls, and your ball basically jumps over. Kind of what happened with the first shot now of Cristina.
Yeah.
It jumped a bit too far. So if you have a ball in front of that, then you cannot use that option of jumping over the whole situation anymore. But Cristina made here a good ball to attack, and now she has some space to score.
Indeed.
That's just not it. Was a bit too slow to get rid of that red one, but a bit too hard to
Yeah,
score.
too much.
She could still use it.
Yeah. She still has 3 balls.
Yeah, but where the red ball is now, scoring space is really limited. So
Yeah.
she will want to move that a little bit to create some space for the other balls. The speed was fine, just missed the direction. Would be interesting to know the score now.
Yeah, because her second ball was perfect, but now she had played 2 more with no success, so she have not scored more points so far.
No, and I can't say with certainty if it's one blue or one red at this moment.
No, it's one blue.
That's a great shot.
That I don't know if it is the second point. Maybe it's the second point, or maybe not. No, it's not. I was looking to the other red. But this.
Well, at least there's space now
Yeah.
for an extra point.
That was good.
And that makes it 3.
That was good.
Really well played.
Yeah. Very good ball. Yeah.
That's impressive performance, because that situation was not so easy. The
No.
defense was well, not perfect, but also not so bad that you would right away expect 3
No.
points. So
And then
really well played.
she made an exceptional first ball, first the approach.
Yeah.
Then an exceptional move on the second ball to take the red ball away. Then she missed 3 balls or 2 balls, and the last 2 were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Yes, in the end, 4 good shots in a long end is good.
Yeah.
That,
Absolutely.
we see more and more that in the really short ends, a lot of players are capable to make 5 or 6 good shots in an end. But in a long end, 4 is really good.
It's really good. For many years, one of my concerns have been and still are in terms of the evolution of the game, in terms of the sport that we want. What sport, what bocce do we want? And for me, it's clear that bocce will grow the more and more in the future, because in terms of quality, in terms of performances, it will be better, but there's not now so much space to grow in that area. It is in a very, very high level of performance. What may grow is the number of athletes that achieve that level. But in terms of the spectators, being this sport being known by sports world in general have been more spectacular. Uh, uh, my concern is that one of my concerns is that we have two more stop moments where nothing happens there, rather than the referee measuring some discussions, measuring again, um, um, head referee. So I think that one of the hard works, because it's not easy, the hard works will be how to replace those moments for faster moments where spectators can understand better the sport, the way it goes, not so many balls together. If they don't really know the sport, they don't know what is happening. So is there any concern about that, or any perspective of doing any change in the future, or is not at all an issue for the World Boccia?
Well, I think spectator engagement in the stadium as well as on television is definitely something that World Boccia wants to grow and improve. I think it definitely helps if the sport is faster. Obviously, it will never be a super fast sport, so I think we shouldn't aim for that in itself, because boccia is a strategic sport.
Yeah.
And there are several examples of strategic, like snooker. That's a very popular game in several countries, that's broadcast on television and seen by a lot of people, even though I think it's even much slower than boccia. But because people know it and understand it, and they have good commentary when they are seeing it on television, it's entertaining. The same for curling and several of those sports. So I think the presentation of the sport is important, and a lot of times spectators are maybe new to the sport. So I'm curious if we could do, like in a stadium, maybe they could tune in with their phones or their headset to a certain channel where they would also hear the commentary that we're providing, or somebody specific in the venue that provides commentary. I think what we are doing here is very good. That it's much more entertaining to see a game with commentary than sometimes the live streams that we have, where you just see the balls and nobody explains you what's going on. It's really good for people that already know the sport, but for everybody else, it gets kind of boring. And for the sport itself, I know there have been suggestions to use alternate throwing rather than let the side who's not closest to the jack throw. So it would be just red starting, then blue, red, like it's done in curling. Yeah. That would take out all the measurement by the referee. Only in the end of the end there would need to be a measure. So that would definitely speed up the game. I think it would also bring a completely different game. And when I was a coach in the past, I've tried it in a practice session, and what we saw was that the game became way less dynamic, because what you see in the game as it is now, like when the opponent is blocking the jack, you need to move the situation, otherwise you will never get closer and you lose all your balls. But if you, in this case, if you open the situation, but your opponent can throw again to the jack, there's not really point of opening it. So you get many more balls really close to the jack, and just with the last balls you try to get into a scoring position, because before it doesn't really matter, because it will always be the opponent playing. So from that experience, I was personally not really enthusiastic with that way of playing, and I think you get a fundamentally different sport by doing that. And I think especially for the classes that have a hard time moving balls around, like a lot of the BC1 athletes, but also BC3s, when there are more balls grouped together, you get more of what you just described as a lot of balls like stuck together, and you don't really see what people are trying to do, rather than a dynamic game that we're seeing at the moment.
Yep.
With a lot of movement on court. So I, I think um, it's important that we present the sport well, and also that we train referees well to be as quick as possible in their actions, so that not a lot of time gets lost. But I would say we also need to expect that we are a strategic sport, and it's a nice sport for a certain type of spectator that likes strategic games, and maybe not for those, that like more action and spectacle, since it's different.
Yeah, and with this degree of softness that of the balls that it's allowed, uh, yeah, the alternates of playing might be less interesting. If the balls were a little bit harder, they might be not so important. But yeah, I understand what you said. And we are seeing now the third end with Cristina missing 2 balls. The first ball was very good, but Claire took it out and is leading now. And Cristina has played, this is her 4th ball, and she wasted 2 of them, let's say.
Yeah, important now to get something close to the jack. Don't want to leave Claire with too many balls.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one, but it's better than the others.
Yeah, it's really important here to get your opponent playing. Claire already played 3 balls as well, so she's going to play her 4th. So they're both going to be left with 2 balls. And Cristina doesn't need to win this hand. If she loses by the point, it's still an okay result for her. But you don't want to leave Claire with a lot of balls.
But if she loses for more than 1, it's challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's always then the pressure of your feeling that your opponent's getting back in the game.
Yeah.
And don't want to lose the big advantage that you had. It's an interesting play here from Claire. She could go directly to the check. She decided to move it. And
well, yeah, I agree.
I don't really like this play because it gives Cristina again the opportunity to block the jack.
Yes.
Where Claire could have locked up the end and saved 2 balls.
Absolutely.
Score the points later. It's
absolutely.
a little bit greedy to go for points here already.
Good.
Yeah, that's
good.
She made really good use of the situation, the opportunity that she suddenly got.
Yeah, she accepted the offer of Claire.
Yes, yes. But good, there's still space. Claire can push her red ball, get closer to the jack, but it's not really the situation that she wanted to be in to get back in this game.
No. And she desperately needs it if she wants to have a chance.
Yeah, a second point would be really helpful. Because if you go with last end with 4-1, you need at least 3 points even for a tiebreak. Well, no, Cristina will play long again, and then you can only hope that she will miss quite some shots because, like with a good ball that she started with in the previous end, just too fast.
Well, and the best she can do is to put the ball on the side of the jack.
Yeah, either that or
push.
Try to hit it and move the jack to the red.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well played.
Well played.
At least she's in a scoring position now, but fairly easy shot for Cristina. She has the open jack. She can also choose to play it fast, either against the jack or the red ball next to it. Because if she hits the jack, the blue behind it will score.
Yeah.
If she takes out the red, it will also score. So
yeah,
I would prefer to play this one faster and just make sure that you hit something.
Yes.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh,
Fantastic shot.
Jesus. As you said, she's on fire.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Not
Yeah.
all the balls, but
Had a little bit difficult phase in the beginning of this end, but then recovered really well.
well, 2 more points and game over.
Pretty much, yes.
Not game over, but 6-point difference. Is
We've
just,
seen it happening, somebody making 6 points in the last end, but
well,
with-
not at this level.
the level of play that we've seen so far,
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
unlikely.
Yeah.
And Cristina can start the last end, so she's in charge of where the jag will be.
Yes.
So it's a really good situation for her.
What a ball.
Yeah, it's almost gallery play. She didn't really need both points. One
No,
would have been
no.
already a good result, but yeah, this was a brilliant play. Meanwhile, the other semi-final, we see a 4-0 lead for the athlete from Azerbaijan after 3 ends.
Yes.
And it's an interesting situation because there were 8 BC2 female athletes in this competition. And at this moment we see the 7th and 8th seeded athletes in a very good spot to go to the final. So the 2 lowest ranked sides beating everybody else, which I think is a great show of how competitive the sport is getting.
Yeah. For sure. So on court 1, Agayeva is winning 4-0 to Yenkekova, and after 3 ends. On court 2 here, Cristina is winning by 6-0 to Claire Taggart. On court, no, this is the previous match, so now it's court 6. On court 6, from City, from Thailand, is leading by 4-2 to the Brazilian Andresa Oliveira after 3 ends. And on court 8, Bermuda, the Silva Andrade is winning by 7-0 to the Croatian Bazic. Whoa, what a score.
Nice shot from Claire here. Normally she would probably be really happy, but here it's already quite obvious that we will not win her the game. And now let's see if Cristina wants to attack this ball or simply start playing some blue balls around the jack to make sure that
Yeah,
6 point is out of the question. Yeah, she's gonna go for that.
yeah. We have a comment here of Steve Maguire. He's saying that art standardized jack ball will make the sport more dynamic. What do you say about this?
For sure. Yeah, but there's been a lot of discussion now around balls over the last few years, and probably there will always be. And when the last quadrennial, World Boccia came up with new ball standard and licensed manufacturers and new testing procedures, which I think made a big step in towards that everybody has access to the same material and that balls cannot be so soft anymore as they were in the past. Yeah, I think the discussion of standardizing the check ball, as some people say, like in the very far past, all the balls, using competition balls so that the equipment is the same for everybody. Yeah, it's always a debate versus between do you want athletes to use their own equipment so that they can adapt best to the balls and play in a high level, or more standardized material that is fair and equal for everyone, and can create some kind of situation in the game that you would like to see. I think a hard jack would definitely achieve that the ball moves more. You can also achieve that in different ways. For instance, I think the flooring is really important, like the standardized World Boccia flooring that's used in the Paralympic Games and the World Championships. If it's a new clean floor, is quite a slippery floor, so the balls move very easily, so you get a more dynamic game than, for instance, on a little bit sticky wooden floor. So I think having more of those in our bigger events like regional championships, World Cups would also be a great step forward. One concern that I have with a standard hard jack is that for some athletes it's not so easy to grasp a hard ball. So we have, for instance, the foot players that grab the ball with their toes. If the ball's too hard, it might be really difficult for them to even play that ball. As well as that some players like to play long, some players like to play short, and a different type of shack may suit better the need of that type of play. So I see some downsides as well, but if we want to move the balls to move more, definitely harder balls achieve that, but it also comes with a cost.
There is also always pros and cons in
Yes,
each
yeah,
decision.
for sure. And I think when you see when the flooring is not too sticky, I think usually we see quite dynamic games. Well, the game as we've seen here, I think there's nothing to complain of the jack not moving, even though both players use a relatively soft jack. So, yeah, I'm not completely clear on this one.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe might be interesting if there was the chance of having a kind of side event, not a side event, but a side experience in some competitions with where the competitors could experiment, could try using different types of balls from those that are being discussed for more years, and a couple of rules that might be good in the future. So have the opportunity of experiment and have their feedback about that. Might be because there's no consequences on that, and you will have the feedback from that experience.
It's definitely an interesting idea. The truth is a lot of changes are always made based on certain assumptions or ideas, but not really a lot of testing.
Yeah.
And I see some practical challenges with the space that's available in most competitions and the busy schedule that people have, but it's definitely interesting to think how sometimes that could help, for sure.
Yeah. And we just finished the match here in court 2. Claire scored 2 points on this last end. It was an interesting and different end because both knew that Cristina had won. She was winning by 6-0. and they played free, and it
It
was
was a
an
good end,
alternating and very interesting.
It was
end.
unlucky that it was that the result didn't really matter anymore.
No,
because
no,
it,
just for the audience,
yeah.
and that is
was
very
good play.
very nice from them. Claire is a very nice person, and she understood that and did that with her heart, and so as Cristina. But Cristina is happy because she have win.
Yeah.
So yeah, very nice.
Yeah, good game, and I think Cristina made really good use of the opportunities that she got. It was not that Claire played bad, but I think she missed a few crucial shots.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two decisions that she could have done differently, but yeah, a good game. And looking forward to the finals.
Yeah. So it will be the Azer girl,
Yeah, Agayeva.
woman, Agayeva, yeah. Agayeva scored 5-0 to Agayeva. So very strong during all the tournament. And the claps that we are hearing from the match of Rom City, Thailand, that is winning 4-2 to Andresa de Oliveira. And those claps was for Andresa. She's recovering. She might have the opportunity to score 2 points at least. It looked like.
Yeah, she has a ball on top of the situation, but I don't know if it's on top of the check or not. It's a little bit far away for us.
Yep. Court 6.
Still difficult to see.
Yeah, very difficult to see. There's no a camera on the top, and it's
No.
far away. Maybe we see the referee.
And it's the Thailand athlete that has their ball on top.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And Andresa is playing.
She gets the ball in there.
The ball on the top looks like it's not touching.
No, it's not the jack.
It's-
No.
Yeah.
And according to the cheer from the Brazilians, she's doing well. Yeah, she stopped. So I guess that she made it.
Oh, what's going on? Oh, she won. She is not playing the last ball, so 3 points for sure for Andresa. She's so happy.
Yeah, very good.
3, yeah.
So in the BC1 female, we get a final of Brazil against Bermuda. South American
Yes.
party.
Yeah. So, Brazilian Andresa de Oliveira, 5, from City 4, BC1 female, and in 2 ends, Andresa recovered from 4-0 or 0-4 to 5-4. Amazing. And Bermuda da Silva Andrade 12-0 to Dora Basic.
That's a clear result.
Clear result. So thank you very much, Joep, for your expertise comments. It was very interesting and important for me and for people that are listening this live stream today. And I hope to have you here again tomorrow for some more comments if you are available.
Yeah, we'll figure something out for sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.